Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we take a romantic stroll down the tunnel of rat love with the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm the Rat King, Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher Thwackin Porter.
And I'm Indiana Antos.
Hey!
Hey, that works out really well.
Yeah.
It does.
How'd you do that?
I can't, it's funny, for having been on this twice before, or a couple times before,
Yeah.
actually, I can't believe I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Is there a hyphen there? Is there a hyphen, or how does that?
Indiana
It's whatever you want.
Yes.
The question is, can you fit all three of us on your shoulders through this rat tunnel?
No.
Oh, well, some of us are walking. Oh, well. At least we're wearing our wading boots. This, of course, is minute 34 that we're discussing today. It begins with Indy and Elsa wading through rats, and it ends with Indy and Elsa wading through rats. That's all we get in this minute is wading through rats.
So, can rats smell moral turpitude?
They're highly attuned. Yes.
only electronic rats, I think.
Oh,
If
well,
you
well
watch
done.
carefully,
Yeah.
only the select electronic rats are reacting.
Yeah.
Well, they seem to only be attacking Elsa here, like they're nipping at her.
They know that in movies, the dames are terrified of rats. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel is Indy throughout all these movies, is Indy just sheathed in a Yahweh veil? I mean, I'm starting to put this together.
I was wondering if the rats are naturally, they attack Nazis.
Oh.
Like, you had the rats that
yes.
were doing the neck thing in Raiders, so maybe now they're like, hey, she kind of smells like a Nazi.
Because Indy has no problem with the rats at all.
right.
Well, it's because they're not snakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
He will in a moment, too, though. Like, in a moment, she's not afraid of rats, and he is, I think.
I'm not even. Is she even afraid of them? I can't even tell if she's like.
I don't think she's afraid. I think she's just like, it's a general, like if you were in a tomb underneath a library, with thousands of rats and muck with dead bodies, I would be a bit grossed out too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't speak for everyone.
Yeah. It's not a perfect situation. It's tricky
She's
to
not
walk down
dressed. She's not dressed for the environment. I mean,
Right.
it's which also is just one of my questions, and I'm sure you guys talked about this before when they came down here, but like, why didn't they like go home, change, and then go down?
Yeah, put on some proper footwear.
Like,
Right.
there was nothing urgent going on.
there. Yeah. We can't do this when the library's closed. That would be boring. Let's get to this right now. Because it's weird. Yeah. Like she doesn't seem to be having that much of a problem, and Indy immediately scoops her up and tosses her over his shoulder.
I think that's more of an indie
I
thing
think.
than
Yeah.
an Elsa thing.
I think it
Well,
is,
yeah,
too.
he has to have his Bond moment, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just completely manhandles her. And I like, though, that she kind of grabs a nice little handful of that Ford's back bumper. Like,
Does she? I missed that.
That's, by the way, that's Pete swearing.
Mr.
Oh,
Mummert.
his back bumper. Look, I'm going to say, Elsa, she had a strong first quarter, all right, but she loses her field worm card here. All right, she actually starts willy making.
I don't
I'm
think
not
so.
sure. I don't know.
I don't think she does.
Hey, I think
not
this is
quite yet. I mean, I don't think we're there quite yet. We're not at Willie levels.
no,
yeah.
I
but
don't even think we're close, because in a second she's going to walk along with rats in her hair, and she doesn't seem to mind at all.
I think the trouble that she's having is just walking in those heels in the water and everything.
Yeah.
And she's trying to avoid. She's not like freaking out about the rats at all. Like even Marion, with the snakes, was freaking out a lot more than this. And I think she ended up on Indy's shoulder too.
well, Marion had a get your damn hands off me.
Right.
Like she was already kind of, riled up.
Yeah.
Well, is that why Indy picked her up and tried to put her on his shoulder? Is she like, well, Marion wanted like this. Maybe this is just what people like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his move.
Yeah. He's very smooth.
I also like how cavalier Indy is about, like, he's a nice getup. Like, he's in nice shoes, nice suit, everything. And then he just jumps in the water.
Yeah. That's what's yeah. They're like the beginning of this minute. They're very carefully walking along the edge of this thing to avoid the water, and then
they're very careful about. I don't want to step on the wraps. I don't want to step on the dead bodies. I don't want to get dirty. I don't want to. No water, cool. That's fine.
Yeah, okay. We tried.
Yeah.
Can we imagine Indy picking up Willie and carrying her like this? Like, I don't think there was any point in Temple of Doom where he ever showed Willie any clemency in these types of scenes, did he?
No, he was so annoyed with her.
Mm-hmm. To quote Indiana Jones, shut up, Willie.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But I think like this, like Elsa. I mean, she's trying. She's curious. She's showing interest. So he's happy to help. You know. Yeah. And I think he views her more of an intellectual equal, not necessarily equal to him, but more so than he would Willie, certainly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't think he views anybody as an equal to him.
Well, no, he's Indiana Jones.
Close, yeah.
But she's closer to his level. He can have a conversation about, things with Elsa.
Yeah.
Well, do you think Indy would have thrown Wuhan over his shoulder like this?
I bet he has. I could see
Oh,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Shorty, maybe not Sala. He'd break his back.
I don't think Shorty. I don't think he cares.
I don't think Shorty. No, I think he would throw Shorty, like toss him a head.
His head. Yeah.
Sala definitely. I mean, they take turns, I think. But
yeah, that's their thing.
I see him throwing Shorty off Ellis Island. He'd be like, nope. That wasn't. I know. I don't care what was said back in, Taipei. Nope. I didn't promise anything. Why don't you call your best friend the elephant?
Why don't you swim back to him?
Yeah, exactly. We kind of.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it is awful. But we cut to Kazim and his men like carrying guns and shining flashlights into this giant hole that Indy made.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, how much do they know about this place? Like, do they already know about the shield being the second marker, or do they know what all this is? And if they do, how do they know it?
They seem. I don't know how they know it, but they seem too casual to have not known about it. Almost.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah.
I wonder if they were simply just following the suspicious Dr. Jones, like they're following this guy who they know is on the trail of the Grail. The Grail Trail. Why isn't that the name of this movie? Indiana Jones and the Grail Trail.
That's the part of my body that. No, I'm kidding,
Jerry. But I wonder if they're just following him and they had no idea that this was here. They must know that it's there. If it's like the Grail Knight is down there and everything.
They're pretty cavalier about lighting it all on fire in a minute too. So they don't seem to care what they destroy. Right.
Yeah, which is weird itself. Like, yes, they might kill Indiana Jones and stop him that way, but they'll definitely destroy, what is probably something sacred to them. This night down there.
Save it for the next podcast.
That's it.
I have thoughts on that.
Okay.
Great question, Pete. I think for some reason I feel like they do know this is down here.
Well, and then my question is, if they did know it was down here, why haven't they done something about it before?
Because where's the fun in that when you can destroy Indiana Jones while he's doing all the hard work for you? Well, they have a strong suspicion it's down there. They know it's there somewhere, but they're not as intuitive as this Dr. Jones guy who's going to figure out exactly all the clues. So just let him do it for you. Here's what I realized, right, when I was rewatching this. Everyone always used to make fun of me for liking the National Treasure movie. And I realized I love it so much because it's just a modern take on Indiana Jones. Sure. And so it's like who is it? Sean Bean in that movie? He hires Nick Cage to find the treasure for him, and then he just follows him while Nick Cage does all the dirty work, and then you found the pricey thing for me. Well, now I'm just gonna kill you and take it. And I don't have to do the hard work.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah. It's Panama hat.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But then if these guys, if the cruciform sword guys, if they know about this place, then what they want to do with it is just leave it alone, and they don't want anything from it. They just want it to be left alone, don't they? They don't want people going to search for the Grail, do
But
they?
if they don't want anyone searching for the Grail, like maybe why haven't they just destroyed the evidence that leads to the Grail?
Oh,
or
do
they want the right person to find the Grail?
Yeah.
That's a great
Like,
question.
is it a quest that they want to let someone go on? I don't know.
Because they don't.
Right.
I mean, they're the guardians of the Grail. I mean, the point is, is that doesn't make sense if no one is ever supposed to find the Grail.
Yeah, like why are there clues?
Yeah, why are
Yeah,
there markers all over the joint?
So they have to
Yeah.
make sure that are they the vetter of the chosen one? Like they need to vet this Indiana Jones guy and make sure that he's the right guy. And maybe one of the ways doing that, is he impervious to fire?
Yeah, right. Let's kill him first and vet him later.
Well, this is if he's gonna drink the cup of immortality, we have to make it worth it for him, right? We have to make him a half dead.
Yeah. You can
By
live in
the
this
time he
charred
gets
body
there.
for all eternity.
Or is this like the dunking witches thing? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, if she survives, she's a witch, and we'll burn her. And if she doesn't survive, well, she wasn't a witch. So
God, that never makes sense to me. I mean, why? It's like no one walked through that little equation. They just, and if she doesn't survive, well, no, then she was innocent. And then that's where the sentence in the paragraph ends.
yeah, that's it.
I mean,
right.
just-
Yeah,
I think that's when they came up with the phrase, that's how the cookie crumbles.
yeah.
Yeah, Walter Cronkite was around back then.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering, do you think these loud-fezzed assassins are thinking about drilling an oil well and retiring?
Yeah, they're
I
excited
think
about
like that. Is that the first thing that they,
Well,
they
first
said?
they're gonna knock down the piece of history, build some condos, and then retire off their fortunes. Yeah, it's good real estate. It's great business.
it is great real estate. Yeah,
It's probably what the church would have done if they had known this was down there. They'd be stinking rich.
It would have turned into a tourist attraction.
yeah. But I have no idea what the motivation is for these guys. Like, I just can't decipher it.
No.
I guess it kind of makes sense if you're thinking that all they want to do is protect the Grail, and they didn't want people to find this, but these two interlopers have found it, and so now they're going to shut them up. But it's a very roundabout, like they could confront them, they could ask them some questions, they could, take this quiz.
Well, I'm also why don't they just block the entrance and leave them down there? I mean, there's other dead bodies down there. How did
Oh,
they
that's a good
die
point.
down there?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
good
I
point.
want to know is because it's not like there's traps set up or anything where they're going through, but they keep passing all of these skeletons.
Yeah. And whatever happened to just shooting people? Why can't they just shoot Indiana Jones?
Right. You know what I don't get. What I don't get is
Right, take a second.
why would they destroy all the clues now?
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're just doing it because they've been found. This is the first time they've been found, I think. And so now they have to take
So did they
drastic
discuss?
measures.
Did they set up their Knights of the Cruciform? Did they set it up yesterday? And they're like, oh, wait a minute, this guy's going to catch on to us. I mean, why didn't they just, destroy it like 500 years ago? That's that.
Yeah, well, why are they there in the first place? Why were the clues there in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the point of the clues and then somebody guarding all the clues and then destroying all the clues?
Hey, what are you doing following those clues? Cut that out.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's not what clues are for. What's the matter with you?
Do these guys know the clues? Like, have they all visited the Grail before? Do they know where the clues lead?
You know what? What if these guys work for the library?
Oh, and that's why they're trying to kill him?
Yeah, it's just security. Look, listen,
This is
we
for our
said that.
floor.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't know what happened with Elsa. We don't know
Yeah.
if she asked how late the library's open. Maybe it's 5:05. The library's closed. The library's closed. We're done.
Yeah. This is for freaking out the guy with the stamp.
Yeah.
He's a nice old man and you freaked him out.
Well, now I wanted to have like some great tagline. Like when he drops the match, he's gonna be like, "You, my friend, are overdue." Or like-
My God, they'll do it, Pete. They'll do it next movie. Stop it. You, my friend, find this. God, it's horrible.
So we have we cut back to Indy, and he again, like kind of doing the opposite of archaeology. He kicks a skeleton into the petroleum.
Oh,
And it's funny because he's literally become Fedora, like in the beginning, like he's become the guy he hated at the beginning of this movie.
oh yeah.
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 Like he's purely in this for one treasure, and he doesn't care at all what he destroys on the way.
Well, these are hardly his first desecrated skeletons.
No, this
that
is
he's kicked
true.
around, you know?
Yeah.
This seems especially
It's one
egregious.
of his favorite things.
It is. I thought this is, I think that I'm sure there's a painting of this somewhere. There should be the defilement of Saint Christopher. It's just it's gratuitous.
Right.
Yeah.
It's this guy paid good money to
Yeah.
be, in these catacombs and sheltered. And he's obviously very deep in the catacombs. The prices go up the closer you get to the shield,
He's on the good side.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about this in Raiders and all the Egyptians who paid hard-earned money to get that Grail the Lost Ark real estate.
Yeah. Suckers.
Well, it's interesting. One thing I didn't realize before, the catacombs, like especially the really famous ones in Rome, were the reason they were predominantly Jewish and Christian is because Jews and Christians at the time the catacombs were built tended to be lower classes, like slaves or working class people that couldn't afford spots in cemeteries. So they sort of dug these catacombs like sort of under the radar of the authorities. So it was like a cheap place to bury people.
Like an underground club for dead people.
Yeah. Like they couldn't afford the
cool.
cemeteries. So
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
I also, it's interesting that Allison Doody and Harrison Ford both had no fear of rats in real life. Like they
Okay.
both, like, and Harrison Ford actually had rats as pets apparently when he was a kid.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
That man is so sexy.
Yeah. You can even handle a rat and make it look cool.
Why is there a trench, or why is there a trench in this catacomb, or is that like
Yeah.
a rivulet?
I don't know. Maybe it was just like, maybe that thing that they're standing on was just like a shelf and like the floor is just flooded or something.
That's what I'm wondering. There's a trench.
I know, but I'm saying maybe that's like the actual floor, like the actual
Okay.
hallway.
Yeah.
But it's just flooded now.
Well, then that's just a weird design.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, what do you expect from poor people?
Yeah. They're
Just
crazy
gonna- Yeah.
alternative catacombs.
What-
Well, it's also funny because like the fact that high tide in Venice is above street level,
Yeah.
like maybe it's,
Yeah.
maybe
No,
this is all-
that's a very, very good point.
Yeah. This is actually the second time, I'm just realizing, the second time Heather's been on the show when Indiana Jones should be drowned to death. The last time he was on that sub, and he somehow got all the way to Malta without drowning.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was last. Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but it means something.
You were on Temple of Doom when he was drowning in love.
He has adamantium lungs. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gills or gills?
Yeah.
You're right again, Pete. These shots are right out of the trash compactor.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
with the bubbling.
Yeah, right out of.
yeah.
And do you think the Dianoga drilled a well and retired?
If he did, he didn't last long.
Yeah. Well,
The Death Star only had like another 5 hours in it or something.
that's what happens. That's the irony of life, isn't it?
Poor Dianoga.
He finally retire.
Look what happened.
This is our big Temple of Doom Willie Bug moment, right?
I guess so.
Right?
We had snakes and we had bugs. Now we have rats, but the rats don't really do. They do a little more later, I guess. But
Yeah, there's a scene later, I guess, but yeah, it's like snakes are you'll die. Bugs are just creepy and disgusting and get in places that no one wants a bug to be.
right.
And then rats, I guess, will give you disease, like
Sure.
like
They got
you'll
cooties or something.
you'll get rabies and then have to take a really painful shot.
Yeah. You'll be off your feet for a few days. Yeah.
Well, maybe Indy and Elsa both got the plague, and they, like later in the movie, they drink something that takes it away.
Oh man, why didn't they release the bubonic plague? That would have been a great plot point.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been good. Can you guys imagine any other creatures in these catacombs? Like, could you say, okay, we got snakes, You know, now we had bugs, walking
I
sticks. Now we
kind
got
of-
rats.
I kind of because this movie is so based around religious themes, obviously. I kind of wish it was frogs.
Or locusts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
each
frogs and
chamber of the
locusts.
catacombs has the frogs and the locusts and then whatever else.
The plague, the bubonic plague.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
This could have been the river of blood, man. They missed so many opportunities.
Yeah. They
That'll
did.
be the gauntlet that 80-year-old Indy goes through in Indy 5 or something.
And then the firstborn son dies, and he has to die at the end to save his father.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I like that a
No,
lot.
then you find out that he has a brother, an older brother. Just like Richie Cunningham. You never see him again. Yeah.
Oh my God, I just got sad. Chuck. It was the older, Chuck
Cunningham.
The oldest.
Where is
Chuck Cunningham?
Is Indy's older brother Dakota Jones?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
probably.
wow.
We named the rat Dakota.
It's probably something weirder. Oregon Jones or
Yeah.
Rhode Island Jones.
Yeah.
Poughkeepsie Jones.
Peacocks.
So at the end here, I thought when Indy kind of shoves Elsa into the water, he was being like very sexist. But then the more I thought about it, I can imagine him doing that exact same move to Satipo. Like he just kind of reaches behind him and he says, "Come on," and he just kind of shoves her down into the water.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what was she doing? Like at that point, like, no, I'm not coming on. I'm not right behind you. I'm not with you.
Well,
right
she was
now.
like, "You're in pants. I'm not." Like,
Yeah.
there's no barrier between my skin and the water here.
They're all gonna die a fiery death anyway. What does it matter?
Or pneumonia.
Or pneumonia, yeah. Or the plague.
That's gotta feel gross though, with bare legs and just like those rats swimming against you. And
Yeah.
The rats, and who knows what else is in there.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we get a shot next minute of them under the water, so we can see it's not. I mean, we have to see it's film, but we can see that it's not as filthy as one would imagine.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But it's got to be grody. Like,
Yeah.
Well, Heather, we talked about this. Where do you think, or why do you think that petroleum is in there?
story reasons.
That's probably it, yeah.
There you go. All right. No hesitation.
Story reasons.
There you go.
Because George Lucas learned about it in science class that oil and water don't
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah.
And it would be a cool effect. And Michael Bay wasn't around yet to explode things, and this was the next best option.
Somebody had to do it.
Is that supposed to be a metaphor? One of these Indian Nazis don't mix?
Oh, maybe. But they are mixing. Look at them.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Got
are.
her over
They
his
mix
shoulder.
very
Well,
well.
there is
apparently.
gonna
Yeah.
be some combustion.
Sure.
We'll say there's some
Keep going.
combustion, but
There's some friction between them. Okay.
Yes. And where there's friction, there's heat, and so they're going to combust the whole place because it's petroleum. I don't know.
But don't petroleum products reduce friction?
Oh, yeah, wait a minute.
Pete Mummert, edit this out.
Damn it, we're all idiots.
Oh
Filthy.
my God! Just light this minute up and get on out of here.
Well, before this gets completely out of control, does anyone else have anything for this minute?
I was gonna say Elsa's hair looks fabulous
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
for now.
Sure.
You know what? Do you think that was a morning wash and go decision?
Oh no! You use curlers
No.
for that.
Okay, all right.
You
Yeah, what do
use
I
for
know?
that.
Platinum, yeah.
I know anything about women at all.
No.
Who am I kidding?
Did you get fabulous hair in Raiders too? Right? Didn't you get Marion standing on the deck with the Prel hair?
Oh, the beautiful
yeah.
canteen hair,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
Pantene hair? Yeah.
Yes.
Katanga couldn't keep his nose out of it.
Whenever we see Indiana Sans fedora, I always have such trouble recognizing him. Like,
Really?
like
That's funny.
Not trouble recognizing him. Like, obviously,
Right.
I know he's Harrison Ford, but you know what I mean. I'm like, that's not Indiana Jones. That's just the fugitive, like set 50 years earlier.
Yeah. Some dude in a suit. That's the
Some dude in a
president. or
suit.
something.
It's really, really fascinating. Is this the first scene where we get sort of the professorial Indiana Jones, but he's on a full, like we said,
But
he's on
in
a
action.
full-on, an archaeological
Yeah.
dig,
Yeah.
chase.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is because every other time we see him in action, he's got the whip and hat.
You know what?
Yeah.
I feel like it messes up my indelibrium. Like I can't. I'm really confused. It's what you said, Heather. You're like you don't recognize him.
It's just a weird juxtaposition. Yeah.
Yeah. Although he did climb out of that window in a suit.
Oh, man.
That was action. That was daring do. He climbed out of a window in his
It was
office.
daring do.
Oh man.
Where did his glasses go? Are they in his pocket?
Some rat has them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Some rats finding out there's no lenses in them. That guy's a fraud.
That guy's a fraud.
These aren't bifocals.
You're just trying to look cool. And it's working.
Wait a minute.
Oh, sure. I was in the
rats-
middle of a sentence. What could be so important?
The rats are scattering. This just in from Professor Christy Porter. Hey, I'm just going to light up these rats. Would that turn you on? Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Also, we have,
Oh.
we have a lanyap missive. Bonus
who?
missive, lanyap, word of the day, lanyap, lanyap missive.
Look it up, kids. Then tune in next time for the definition.
Yes. We have a gratuitous fanny shot.
No, there's no such thing.
No, it's only Elsa and Indy in the scene. We don't have anyone named Fanny.
Hey!
Oh, it's interesting because the entire this entire scene is drab except for the torch and Elsa's hair.
Yeah,
And Indy's red tie.
Yeah,
I suppose.
it's really interesting. It's like I don't think he needs the torch. It's like maybe that's why he picks up Elsa. He's like,
Yeah,
"No, I'm
right.
just gonna carry her.
Yeah. She'll light the way
Yeah.
with her butt. Oh my God! On that note, well, hey, listen, Heather. Can I call you Heather even though your name is Indy Antos?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay,
Take it.
I'll just try it. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you can come back tomorrow.
I think I can make some time for you guys.
Awesome. And in the meantime, where can people? What are you working on these days? Tell people what's your deal.
What my deal is, I'm an editor at Marvel. I work on all things Star Wars, ranging from Star Wars, Dr. Aphra, Poe Dameron, Darth Vader, anything and everything in between. I also work on Gwenpool, Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows, and the newly announced Marvel Rising series.
Nice.
Wow.
Most of the titles you just named
That's
are in my
awesome.
son's room right now.
Awesome. Your son's cool.
He's a good guy. Are we gonna ever get a new Indiana Jones series out of you guys?
Yes.
Down
I
the line?
wish. I wish.
Okay, we'll keep looking.
Are we ever going to get that movie? I don't know.
I know.
That's a good point.
Well, maybe it'll be like cart before the horse thing. You gotta get the comic book out there, and then people will go, "Hey, this Indiana
Maybe.
Jones fella, you should make a movie out of this guy."
No, it's one of those things where it's like I almost don't like you know me obviously. I love Indiana Jones, but I almost don't want to work on the comics if they ever happen so I can just like consume them, you know?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's
But
fair. I know
Who
what you
knows?
mean.
Who knows? Anything is possible. Anything
Yeah.
is possible. We might get a Marion series first, let's be honest. That's the book we
Oh
all
my
want.
God!
That would be
Wow.
awesome. That'd be amazing.
Wow, I
That
just got
would
really
be
excited.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, now we all have something to think about.
Yes.
But everybody, your job is to, if you want to look cool, you should go to tpublic.com and check out our shirts over there. You can get shirts with that we've designed, phone cases, notebooks, what have you. You can go to our site, indianajonesminute.com, and go to the store link there, and that'll take you right there. And you'll look as cool as me and Jer and Pete. And maybe Heather. Maybe Heather will get a shirt. Then we'll all look cool. So try that out. And then come back here tomorrow for minute 35 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Tombstones!
Hey, there aren't any tombstones down there.
The whole place is tombstones.
I don't know if that counts, Jerry.